It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. Murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured.
Hello and welcome back. This week's build is a challenge set by Deadliest Props. He sent me a bunch of stuff in the post and said make something. Now, how could I refuse that? So, after a day or so of letting it rattle around my head, I decided to branch out, and since I've not made anything zombie connected, thought it was time I did. And since zombies is a subject close to my heart, I decided on making a zombie apocalypse build. So once I'd stripped everything down and taken a helicopter view, yes, pun intended, of what I had, I slowly put glue to plastic. Now, I hate these little plastic polystyrene balls simply because super glue melts them, and unless you're using your hot glue on a low setting, that will melt it as well. Yep, I persevered and stuck the balls onto the tyres. Using EVA foam, I cut them into strips. I tried covering the balls with it to make it look more like tank tracks. Before that, I used a chip fat strainer that was from the Euro store, cut that down and made grills for the windows in the cabin. Now the dumper bit gave me a headache until I thought outside the box and stuck it upside down, and it fit just perfectly. So I just gave it a bit of glue and stuck it onto the truck.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. Murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. In all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murder. Repeating this, the ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull.
I designed this build how in the actual real event of a zombie apocalypse outbreak, I would hope someone would build a machine like this, and it would act as not only as a home but also as an all-terrain vehicle. Lolly sticks, or for my American viewers, popsicle sticks, were used for decking. I textured them within an inch of the life using the blade of my X-Acto. And then the helicopter, which I thought could be used as a place to sleep and eat, I used plastic from cartons, pushed a pencil tip into the edges, all along the edges, to give it that sort of like rivet look, and stuck them on in places just to cover up the holes in the toy helicopter. I used the landing gear from the helicopter to bulk out the sides of the truck, hoping they'd look like extra fuel tanks. And once I'd stuck the helicopter down, I just made a little bit more decking to one of the sides, and then it was ready to be primed. Once primed with the black from a rattle can, I decided I'd paint the helicopter a camo colour. Wasn't really bothered how it was going to turn out because it was going to be all distressed, and I wanted it to look like it'd been around for a long time. Silver was then applied to all the plastic panels, and everything else I thought would be metal, like the cage on the front of the truck. Painted all the decking brown to make it look like wood, and then went and did the tank tracks with the silver. And then for the rest of the truck, I just used different colours of blue to make it look like it was something that had been sat in a scrapyard for years, and obviously the weather had got to it, and hence the colour was different shades of blue. made a batch of rusty goop using orange paint mixed with baking powder to give it the texture, and coat most of the truck so it looked like it had been rusting and just left out in all weather for years. Then I just added some decals that I found in one of my drawers just to some of the panelling. Then I realised I needed some tarpaulin. Now this was done by some scrunched up grease-proof paper, then applied a paint of blue to it. Could have been orange, could have been anything, but I'm trying to use this blue so I can get some more blue. I just used a coat on either side. I didn't mind how it looked. The more distressed and dirty the better. While that was drying, I used some crackle paint just on the tank tracks and dabbed it around the edges of the actual truck. Then once all that was dry, I free-handed some more graffiti around the truck and it was almost ready to do. So that's my first entry into the zombie apocalypse build. I'll probably make some more down the line, but for now this was the first one. Thanks to Deadliest Props for the goodies and the challenge. It was a good one and I enjoyed the build.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. Murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. In all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered. Repeating this, the ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull.